So in this tutorial we will understand about Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE. So in the last section we have discussed about the components of Selenium. Out of those, Selenium IDE is one of them. So other components are Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. So in this session first we will discuss about Selenium IDE. So what is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is just a plugin or add-ons, we can say, to your browser. Okay. So it is very easy and simple to use if you are working with Selenium automation testing. So let's see, first we will discuss all the features. First is so first is it is record record and playback features. Okay, so this is very powerful features. Okay, due to this it is very powerful of Selenium IDE. Okay, so what is record and playback? So in simple language, record means we will do some recording and we will play those record. Okay, so this is called record and playback. So how it is working in Selenium IDE, we will see with an example later. Okay, so now we will see some features of Selenium IDE. Okay, the next features is what is that? Okay, 1 minute. Record and playback. Okay, and okay, so now another is it's a add-on. It is the add-on to the Firefox, add-ons to Firefox. Okay, also it is available in Chrome nowadays. Okay, but basically it is the features of Firefox. So whenever it was developed, okay, so it was developed for the Firefox add-ons only. Okay, so it is a second features of our Selenium IDE. Okay, and it is very easy to configure and tracking the results. Okay, it is easy to configure. Okay, it is very easy to configure and track the result. Okay, also it supports customized and parameterized test. Okay, in the Selenium IDE. Okay. And also in Selenium IDE you can export your test cases and it can support also multiple languages. Okay, so what is that? It is you can export test cases, okay, and multiple language it supports. Okay, so it can export test cases and it can support multiple languages like Java, C#, Ruby, okay, etc. So though it is very simple and easy to use, okay, so it has lots of features, okay, like playback and functionality, record and playback, add-ons to Firefox and Chrome. It is very easy to configure and it can export the test cases and it can support multiple languages. Okay, so now it's the advantages. What is that? It is the advantages of Selenium IDE. It is the advantages of Selenium IDE. Now we'll see what are the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of Selenium IDE? Okay, so first disadvantages is, let me write here, is Selenium IDE. What are the disadvantages? So on the disadvantages I am marking as red. Okay, so though this is only supporting Firefox and Chrome, also nowadays it is supporting Chrome, we cannot integrate to other browsers which is not supporting. Let's say I am executing this in my Firefox, so I cannot simulate those test cases in my Safari or Safari browser. Okay, I cannot do that. It is a drawback of Selenium IDE. It's a browser specific. Is a browser specific. Okay, so and if you want to test the complex applications which has the dynamic element, okay, so Selenium IDE is not useful. Like complex application like dynamic elements. Okay, like for some element is dashboard, which is let's say user ID, it is dynamically changed. Okay, the ID, the elements of the path of the elements, it is dynamically changed. The ID, maybe it is ID or it is a name, all the locators are dynamically changed. So in that application you cannot use the Selenium IDE. Okay, now let's say another drawbacks. It cannot support conditional logic. It cannot support conditional logic. Only simple logics it will support. Okay, conditional logic it will not support. Then there is no script debugger. Okay, there is no script debugger. There is no way to embed. Yeah, so all these are disadvantages of Selenium IDE. So no way to embed. Okay, what embed? You cannot embed the code into the Selenium IDE. Okay, now there is no visual UI testing. Okay, there is no visual UI testing. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, there is no visual UI testing. You can only record and play whatever you have clicked, or you can over. So all these things you can test only that scenarios. Okay, there is no plugins or add-ons to extend your functionality. No extension of functionality. Okay, so no functionalities of extension. There is no functionality of extension. So all these are disadvantages. Another most powerful disadvantages is no parallel testing. What is parallel testing? I'll discuss later. Okay, but for now you can understand or you can remember there is no parallel testing is available in Selenium IDE. Okay, so there is no parallel testing available in Selenium IDE. So now what are the disadvantages? First disadvantages is it is a browser specific, cross browser testing cannot perform. This is like complex applications like dynamic elements, it will not support. It is not support for conditional logics. There is no script debugger, no way to embed the code, no visual UI testing, no extension of functionality, and there is no parallel testing. So all these are the couple of disadvantages of Selenium IDE, though it is very easy, and but in your real life of example it cannot work all this if you are facing all these functionalities. Okay, you cannot test with Selenium IDE. So what are the advantages? So the advantages are is that record and playback functionality, its add-ons for Firefox and Chrome, easy to configure, export test case, and for multiple languages. But what are the disadvantages are the browser specific, complex application that will not support, conditional logic it will not support, no script debugger, no way to embedded code, UI testing is not available for visuals, no parallel testing, and no extension of functionalities. Okay, so now we'll see how to implement the IDE, how to implement the Selenium IDE. For this, let's open my Mozilla Firefox. Okay, let's open my Mozilla Firefox. Okay, let's open. Okay, so here I opened the Mozilla Firefox. Okay, let me expand. Okay, so here I opened the Mozilla Firefox. Okay, so I'll click the search and I'll type Selenium IDE for Firefox. Okay, so Selenium IDE for Firefox. Once you click enter, you will see lots of search results, but you can go to this addon.mozilla.org. Okay, org. So click on this first link. Okay, then it will open your add-ons page. Okay, so I don't have this add-ons right now in this browser. Okay, so so you will see add to Firefox. Okay, if you don't have the IDE to your browser, then you will see add to Firefox button. So once you click add to Firefox button, it will load. Okay, and then it will show the pop-up like add Selenium IDE. This extension will have permission to your data of for all websites, download files, read and modify browser's download history, display notifications to you, access browser tabs, access browser activity during navigation. So all these are just confirmations, so no need to bother about this, just click on add. So once you click on add, it will ask another pop-up, Selenium IDE was added. Okay, you can manage from here. So this is a checkbox. If you are working with private windows, and if you want to access that this Selenium IDE aren't there, you need to check this box. So let me check this one for now and click on OK. So now you can see that button changed to remove. Okay, before it was add to Firefox. Okay, so now you can see there is the icon here for Selenium IDE. So once I click here, you can see another page open. Okay, so it was asking what would you like to do. It has lots of functions like record a new test case, including your project, then open an existing projects if you have already recorded and already saved in a project, then you can import that existing project and you create a new project, close Selenium IDE. If I click Selenium IDE, it will close. Okay, so let me open now. Okay, so I will test now. Okay, so another point, you can say the current version is 3.17.0 for the Selenium IDE. Okay, if you want to learn more about Selenium IDE and the depth knowledge, you can click on this Selenium IDE project page. Okay, so for now we'll just leave it that and we'll just create a new test in a new project. Okay, let me click first option, record a new test in a new project. So once I click, it will ask me to give the project name. Let me give the project name is make my trip. Okay, so you can change the project name later also. Okay, so for now let's say click on OK and it will ask the basic URL. What is my basic URL of make my trip? Okay, so this is my basic URL of make my trip. So I'll copy this URL and I opened the Selenium IDE and paste this URL. Once I paste, that's all. After that you just need to record. So already told you it's a record and playback functionality. Okay, so first you need to record. For that we have two buttons. One is start recording and another is cancel. So if you click on cancel, it will close the pop-up. So for now it will just click on start recording. Let's see what will happen. Once I click, it opened a browser. Okay, let me expand. Okay, and I'll wait for some times. Okay, you can see Selenium, there's a pop-up Selenium IDE recording. Okay, in below you can see if I hover it will go because I need to click. If I need to click something, so that is just a precaution. But now let me click on hotels. You can see the recorded click, recorded mouse hover, recorded Selenium IDE is recording. So what I will do now, I will click villas and apartments. Once I click, what is happening? Change recorded click. Okay, let me hover on this. It's not happening the hover. Okay, so what the hover is there, functionality. Okay, let it be. Let me click on this train. Let me click on the train, recorded click, then Selenium IDE is recording. Let me click on buses, recorded click. Okay, so I will just click all this icon, all these functionalities. Okay, so I need to test those things whether it is working or not. So let me go to the Selenium IDE extension. Okay, this is my Selenium IDE extension. Here is a stop button, stop recording. I just click stop recording. After that, you need to give the test case name. My test case name is make my trip. Click functionality. Click functionality. Okay, what is that? Make my trip. click functionalities. So let me expand this, you will just see all the what is happening. Okay, so now let us say here all the functionalities, whatever here all the steps, okay, are there, whatever we have I clicked on the in that or make my trip. Okay, so I have recorded now. So now what to do? We will do the playback. Okay. Okay. So here all are the test steps. So it has some couple of columns. One is command, target, and values. So values no need to bother about for now. It's a command and target. Open means it open the root page. Whatever make my tip open, then it is. Second, what we did, we have just expanded our browser. We just set window size. Okay, then we have clicked some hotels, then mouse hover. Okay, so all the steps we have performed. Okay, so now let's say how it is working as a playback. Okay, let me, there is some couple of button here. So it is a run all tests. So as I have only one test, let me click on this button, play icon, which is run current test. Let me click, let's see what will happen. It open my browser, then it will expand, which is my next step. Okay, maybe that expansion not working. Okay, let me run again. We close. Okay, so let me stop this. About it, yes. Now let me run again. Okay, so now it opened. Okay, then it set the your browser windows size. Okay, already set, but it was going that side, that's why you are not seeing full page. Okay, for now I just click on this one. Okay, and then what will happen, it click the hotels. Okay, so why is not happening, let's see. Okay, the mouse hover, it was playing now. So maybe some while moving this to this icon that what are showing Selenium IDE is recording, at the time some we have some. Okay, so this mouse over, maybe it was some CSS. Let me, for now let me delete these steps. Okay, and let me run again. Okay, let me run again. So now it set the size, then it clicked it will click your hotel. Okay, okay, now it clicked hotels. I'm not doing anything, so my mouse is like in one position. Then it clicked villas and apartment. Okay, then it click trains. Okay, then it's click bus. So this thing we have already done. So now you can, after completion, it will show the status. So all these are success. So you can, if you go to log, you can see whatever the steps you have performed. So earlier it was this one is not undefined, that's why it was got failed. But after when I started testing, so all these are passed now. So once if everything is like if some elements is not finding, maybe it was the dynamic element, as I told you, it is not supporting. So this it will wait for 30 seconds, which is 30,000 millisecond. After that it will fail. So these are the limitations of Selenium IDE. And if you go to, okay, it's not required. So this is my test case name, and this is my test running icon. Okay, once we click, it will start again. So I can run in n numbers of times. Okay, so there is no limitation how many times I will run those recorded. Okay, let me, I clicked again, it will click my hotels, then it will click my villas and apartments, then it will train, then bus. Okay, so wait for it, click to buses. Okay, it's done. Okay, now another, it is a test execution step speed. Okay, we can customize this speed, whether it is fast or slow. If it's slow, it is it will run very slowly. Okay, and these are the Selenium IDE functionality. Okay, so all these are the features and the example of how the Selenium IDE. So how you will work with the Selenium IDE environment. Okay, in the next tutorial, we will discuss about some advanced topic like the Selenium grid. If you want to learn more about Selenium automation testing tool, then you can go to www.testinglpoint.com. Go to this website, and there are lots of testing tools. Tutorials are available like Selenium with Java, Selenium with Python, Cucumber, LT, and JMeter's. Also, addition to that, you can have quiz. You can give the quiz here, and there are lots of interview questions are available here. Okay, so stay tuned, guys. There are lots of tutorials will be uploaded soon. Just subscribe to my channel, like and share. If you have any questions on this videos tutorial, then you can put your questions on the comment section. I'll give you I'll give the answers in the next tutorials. Thank you, guys.